part 15 and the final part of the history of Earth, the Quaternary, 2.6 million years ago to now. Now, where we last left off, the Earth started to become cooler and drier, but it was still much warmer and more humid, and sea levels were still higher than they are today. But now they've cooled down so much. Now they went from being warmer and more humid than it is today to being cooler and drier than it is today. And of course, as you can see right here is this picture being Laurasia, of course being North America or Europe, being most likely specifically North America during this time, with of course woolly mammoths, saber-toothed cats like Smilodon, and there were also bisons, camels, you name, vultures, giant short-faced bears, being called Arctodus, you name. And 2.5 million years ago, and of course, our ancestors being still in Africa, and as we all know, eventually they learned how to work with tools with Homo habilis, and then Homo erectus learned how to make fire, or create a fire, but it would be 200,000 years ago when our species, Homo sapiens sapiens, first appeared. But not until 70,000 years ago, most likely, but probably our groups might have definitely moved in earlier, but with us, we wouldn't move out of Africa until 70,000 years ago, of course, being into Saudi Arabia, due to sea levels being lower from Africa to Arabia, and the Red Sea would just form at that point, and eventually up north into Asia, east into Asia, and then west and north into Europe. And of course, as you can see in this picture right here, during this time, they were nomadic and hunter-gatherers, living in small groups. And also they would come into contact with the Neanderthals, and also in Asia being Homo forensis, or in that case, being considered the real-life hobbits due to their small size, living in Java, for instance, and then they eventually end up in Australia. Yeah. And of course, it wouldn't be till, as we've all been taught in school, till 12,000 years ago when the first humans arrived in the Americas over the Bering Strait between Siberia and Alaska. And of course, they would have found in that picture I just showed you that kind of life, but there would have been that kind of life too in Europe and Asia. And then they moved down south, the people who were there down south became known as the Clovis people. And then of course and then eventually, of course, the megafauna during this time started to die off around 12,000 years ago. And shortly after that began the Neolithic course in the Middle East, for instance. And then the earth became warmer and wetter again, and the glaciers soon receded, but still be more in an interglacial period, though. And so the land bridge between Asia and the Americas the ice there soon melted, and then all of a sudden during this time, as you can see in this picture right here, mainly in the Middle East especially, people began to learn how to farm, and so kickstarted the Neolithic or New Stone Age revolution, or agricultural revolution. And with it, people end up over time became shorter over time, and became more prone to disease, since they were living very close to each other now, since they were in a village, and new societal structures formed. And new people tasked with new kinds of jobs for people tasked with responsibilities. So now not everyone was tasked with all the same kinds of jobs. Oh, yes. And then, afterwards,
thank you all once again
to us creating all new kinds of inventions over time.
Really fun,
like learning how to work with metal, riding,
thanks for watching.
Wheeled carts or vehicles, domesticating animals and livestock.
And also,
you name it.
happy birthday to me.